God bless you guys for hanging out, and we'll see how much damage we can do in the next 63 minutes or so. So yeah, for the Facebook people, welcome. There's comments coming in. I can't see any of the comments, so you want to make fun of my new haircut, go ahead. That's fine. Teresa can see the comments, and she probably agrees with you. This is actually my weight loss haircut. This is my weight loss haircut. I got on the scale this morning. I am 0.6 pounds away, a little bit more than half a pound away from my first significant goal, and I figured I'll get a haircut. Now, my problem, of course, as you guys can imagine, I don't even have a half pound of hair. Like, Teresa gets a haircut, she'll lose 5 pounds. It's like, it's gone. Like, boom.
That's right.
So I'm thinking whatever it takes. In David Newman land, our weight loss mantra is whatever it takes. If I have to chop off my arm to lose 10 more pounds, I'm doing it. Because you know what? The scale is the scale. The number is the number. And we're doing what it takes, just like we're doing what it takes to get you guys these speaker marketing, speaker sales, speaker strategy, speaker tactics that you need here during our crazy live stream and our Zoom webinar. So let's see. We've got, yeah, man, all the superstars are here. Alicia, Alyssa, Charlie, Daryl, Dave, David Guthrow is here from the Great White North, or as he likes to call us down here, the now crazy orange silly South. Diane is here. Doris, great to see you. Doug is here. Evan, good to see you, my friend. Franco, Hev, Jennifer, Michelle, Mickey, Mike, Paul, PP. I'm not sure who PP is, but you're very brave to go by the initials PP. I love that. Sharon is here. Sima from Chicago. Holy
Thanks, Sima.
Unbelievable. Do you know Sima?
Hey, we're friends on Facebook.
Oh,
she doesn't know me too well yet, but we're friends now.
This woman's like a barrel of gunpowder. Just look out. You know,
yes.
Sima's in the house and all bets are off. It's crazy. So that's fantastic. Steve is here. Tom Stoyan, Speaker Hall of Fame, again, from the Great White North, and we're broadcasting from the silly orange South, if you're Canadian. So all of that is happening. So that's great. And yeah, I would say it's the top of the hour, and let's just jump in. So here's what we're going to do. Teresa has the questions that were submitted in advance. We are going to go through those first. If you happen to be here, and Teresa, can you see the cast list here or no? Can you?
I cannot.
You cannot.
No.
So give me the name of the person, and then give me the question. And if they're here, we'll just bring them on camera. So, you know, assuming that they have pants on, or even if
that would
they
be
don't,
a good thing.
even
yes.
if they don't. So welcome everybody. This is the official start of Speaker Marketing Lightning Round Live. And I mean lightning round. With that's the new gesture, is like lightning round live, like zam, because Shazam. And Teresa, who has submitted the first question?
You know, let's start with Mary Ellen. Oh, I'm going to damage this last name. What was Wasla Whiskey? Oh, that's bad.
It's either Wasla Whiskey or Wasla Bourbon.
Wasla Whiskey.
Okay, let's see.
She can correct me when she gets on camera.
Oh, I'm sure she will. Trust me, my friend. I'm sure she will.
And my apologies, Mary Ellen.
So Mary Ellen, she's not here. She is not here. So let's read her question. If she hops on, she'll have to watch the video.
So what needs to be in your speaker presentation kit? And what are the top 5 things to do as you begin marketing as a new speaker so you can get hired? So
wait a second. She sent 2 questions?
She did.
Is that allowed?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's do the second one first, because why not? And the question is, what are 5 things a new speaker needs to do
to begin marketing as a new speaker so you can get hired?
Okay. Well, here's my advice for the new speakers. And I know we have a mix of people here. We have some like I said, literally Hall of Fame superstar speakers here. We have some folks that are mid-career speakers. We have some folks that are just starting out. So we're not going to spend a whole heck of a lot of time on here. The mistake I see, and Teresa, feel free to kind of pop in here and, you know, we'll slap this around together. I see a lot of speakers starting to market when they have no flippin' idea what they're actually doing. They have no flippin' idea what problems they solve. They have no flippin' idea what people they serve. They have no idea actually if they're topic and their niche and their focus and their expertise is actually marketable or bookable, as we call it. So when we work with people, for example, in the Speaker Profit Formula program, one of the questions that we ask is this a bookable topic or not? Because if it's not a bookable topic, you do not want to keep banging your head against the same brick wall for months and months and years when, hey, gang, no one's going to buy that. If I'm IBM, I'm Google, I'm the American Payroll Association, I am not buying whatever it is that you're selling. So I think the first thing you have to do is some market. So I'm going to answer the question by not answering the question. All right, the 5 things you need to do. Number 1, market research. Figure out in your general area, and this includes a listening campaign, this includes a competitive scan, this includes looking at other competing speakers and how they're using articulation and distinction and focus. So figure out, be a student of the game. That's number 1. Number 2 is I think you have to sell what people are already buying. So look at conference agendas. Download conference brochures, download conference PDFs, visit conference websites in the industries that you want to serve. Figure out who are the keynotes, who are the breakouts, who are doing the plenary sessions, the general main stage sessions, because those are generally the ones that pay, and what's the topic? What's the focus? What is already being bought in the marketplace that you're trying to sell to? A lot of times we're trying to force a square peg into a round hole, and it's a train wreck. So I think you absolutely have to do that. Then you have to get your marketing house in order, meaning no GoDaddy website, no homemade business cards with like little fringlies on the edges and the homemade bad, streaky laser printing. Get serious. You have to get serious in this business. So if you're a $10,000 speaker, your materials have to look like a $20,000 speaker. If you're a $5,000 speaker, your materials have to look like a $10,000 speaker. So just like they tell the career folks, right, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have, you have to present the content and the context of your marketing materials for one level above where you are right now in your speaking career. And then the last thing I would say is, and again, I mentioned Teresa, please jump in, and I'm just fire hosing this answer, but the last thing you have to do is you have to be flexible. Don't be so concerned about keynote, or seminar, or workshop. Be coachable, meaning let your clients help you connect what they need to what you do. So maybe it's not a speech. Maybe it's buying 5,000 copies of your book. Maybe it's not a speech. Maybe it's buying 100 copies of your online course. Maybe it's not a speech. Maybe it's a 6-month leadership development program. Maybe it's not a speech. Maybe it's a 12-month sales training program. So stop being married to the distribution method and start listening, deeply listening, and being way more responsive to what your clients really want and really need to solve. So that's my fire hose on that. Let's talk.
Yeah. I think what I agree with the most, all of it, I agree with all of it, but that market research is so important, and not only just your competitive analysis, but your customer. Are you running focus groups? Are you asking your ideal client or your suspected ideal client the questions to really understand their pain? You've got to know what they're suffering from, or you can't solve it, because what they're going to buy from you is the solution. They're not going to buy your methods, models, and all of the things that you do, because you do them great, but if you can't demonstrate the value, they're not going to buy. So you've got to know those pain points, and you've got to be able to talk to those pain points very confidently, and only through research are you going to find that. So
exactly right. Exactly right. Now, one thing that I did not mention, and I think this is important, we got to say it right here, right now, up front. People go, well, why are they giving all this free advice? What's this whole, kind of lightning round thing? What's it about? This is very tricky, gang. I hope you're ready.
Yeah. Are they ready, David? Do you think they're ready?
I think they're ready. And
we're going to lay it down here. We're going to lay it down.
Our friend and our mentor, Frank Kern, says this is the oldest marketing trick in the book. And I agree, it's the oldest marketing trick in the book. So as you know, or as you may not know, but I don't know if you know or not, but you're about to find out, that Teresa and I offer and work with speakers in all different levels in a fabulous mentoring program called the Speaker Profit Formula. And what we do in that program is take you from wherever you are to the next level in your business. And it is hugely transformative and hugely helpful. The trick that Frank mentions, the oldest marketing trick in the book, is when you want to invite people to look at something and tell them, oh man, this is going to totally change your business, totally change your career, it's going to totally help you. Don't just tell them that you're going to help them, but help them by, helping them. So we are doing sort of a subset of what we do week in and week out with our paying clients. And if you want to get in on this, if you want to kind of just knock on the front door and say, hey guys, this was a fantastic resource, this was something that I want to find out more about, and you want 20 minutes of a deep dive, in-depth consultation about how you can apply some of these ideas in your business, Teresa, I'm going to give the URL. Feel free to pop it into Facebook, pop it into the chat here, so people get a clickable link. Here's what you do. Apply for a 20-minute deep dive conversation about your business model, your speaking model, your revenue model, how to monetize your business, how to find clients, how to market it, how to sell it. It's doitmarketing.com/apply. I know, it's so manipulative. It's so tricky. This is so diabolical. It's like, oh my God. So now we're going to get back to helping people.
Yes.
That is available to you during the time that we're here, during the time that we are broadcasting. So if you want to, hop on Teresa's calendar, hop on my calendar. We've got a few openings this week, and then I think into early next week, like Monday and Tuesday, to have these exploratory conversations and see if it makes sense for us to consider working together. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, great. We don't need a lot of people. We just need the committed ones. We need the serious ones. We want the ones that take the coaching, do the implementation, and make it happen. So next question. Who's next in the queue?
Alicia Berberich.
Alicia. And Alicia's here. Alicia, do you want to hop on camera here? I love when people actually show up. Alicia, do you mind if we kind of bring you on here, promote you to a panelist, and then see your smiling face? I'm kind of waiting for some kind of sign here. I don't want to just turn on Alicia's camera and she's like half naked or something, because that would be
yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
That would be weird.
Although we would be the talk of the internet.
Yes, this would take off like crazy. This would really take
PR.
Well, Alicia, I don't know if you walked away from your computer or what happened here, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to promote you to a panelist and we'll see what happens. I really hope no one's naked. I did actually have
You can also raise your hand or put a little note in the chat box. There's a little icon at the bottom of the window that says chat. Click on that. Also
true. Should we just promote her and see what happens?
She says I'm here. Let's
go.
Okay. There's a sign.
So you're here, and so you're okay to hop on with us and kind of play little video fun here, video game show. Yes.
She says yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I tell you, we had a naked person. She was on one of these. She had her camera on mute, and then she was packing for a trip, and the camera turns on, and there's this naked person. Now, thank God, the other feed does not show up on the recording. But I said, so Susan, are you buck naked right now? And she goes, I go, yeah, you may want to turn off your camera. So I can mute people, but I can't turn off your camera. It was an awkward moment. Anyway, on that note, Alicia.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi. With your question. What do you got? How can we help?
Well, I sent in one question earlier, but then I had another question that was more burning.
You want us to read the first question first? No,
I want to throw out my new question.
Okay.
Okay. So
I like your attitude.
My question is, do you use eSpeaker, and do you find that it's a good platform, and how do you use it? Okay.
Teresa, do you want to jump in? I mean, I've got some thoughts, but do you have any initial thoughts to kind of throw out there?
eSpeakers is a great platform. Again, it has to be well written, it has to be succinct, and it has to convey your value very clearly. And if you know your audience and you have all of those words that speak to the pain that they might be looking for, it can be very, very effective. At the same time, it's passive. It's not proactive. It's just kind of sitting out there hoping somebody finds you. And you're in the mix of the industry full of other speakers that look like they do what you do. So there really is, it's very difficult sometimes to differentiate, which is why you have to look at that value proposition and make sure you're conveying yourself and you have the right footage and you have it's got to be built intentionally and strategically. That said, it's a great platform, but I think there are more proactive opportunities that you can be involved in. I wouldn't rely on that solely. That would be my 2 cents.
And then, it's funny, a lot of our clients ask this question, and they say, I'm on eSpeaker, should I upgrade to the gold, to the platinum, to the super duper, ice cream sundae version? eSpeaker is a great platform. It's very similar in this respect to Infusionsoft. That people buy Infusionsoft and they use like a little teeny tiny percentage of it. And then they're spending $300-400 a month, right? And it's like, well, you could be using MailChimp. You could be using Constant Contact. So they buy an elephant gun to shoot a fly. I think, again, if you're using it 100%, that is fantastic, great platform. Joe Heaps does a great job with it, always upgrading it, always looking at new marketing angles. But I also have to agree with Teresa, it's totally passive. Sometimes they do that blast, but again, you're in. It's like you're in the yellow pages. Yeah. I wrote a blog post a few years ago about why you don't want to be in the book. So it's like, oh, find us in the yellow pages. Well, if I find you in the yellow pages, I'm finding you and your 500 closest competitors in the yellow pages, in the directory, in the association guide, in whatever kind of directory listing, right? And then it becomes a battle of whose listing has the box around it, whose listing has the dancing bunnies, whose listing has the fancier video, whose listing has like the color headlines. Like, are you kidding? So that's great for the publisher. That's great for the yellow pages, and that's great for eSpeakers, and that's great for all those guys. But to truly differentiate yourself, I think you have to do your own proactive, targeted, focused marketing. One of the things that we teach, as a matter of fact, in the Speaker Profit Formula is this concept of the Active 20. The Active 20 is a list, and write this down. It is a written, finite, workable list of 20 corporations, associations, and groups that you want to speak for. It's not random. It's not, I want to work in the financial services industry. I think I'd like to work in construction. It's like, you can't work in construction. You can't work in the engineering industry. We need names. We need decision makers. We need companies, conferences, meetings, associations. We need decision makers. We need executive directors. We need vice presidents and C-level executives who have a name, a face, a phone number, an email address, and a LinkedIn account. Because Alicia, if you came to me, you said, well, David, I'm trying to get more work in the world of professional services. So consulting, accounting, engineering, etc. I wouldn't be able to help you. If, on the other hand, you said, well, David, here's my list. I've got a list of 20 decision makers. I'm wondering, are any of these people in your network, or might you know how I could get referred or introduced? I say, oh my God, well, my sister-in-law works for this company, and I actually spoke for these guys, and I totally know someone here. See, when your list gets specific, the entire universe starts to come together to help you. Advocates, allies, champions, current clients, past clients, referrals, introducers, centers of influence. All these people can be activated to help you. If you're sitting there going, yeah, I kind of want to speak to the tech industry, nobody can help you. And in fact, you can't help you. So when you wake up in the morning, you sit down at your computer and you're overwhelmed because there's a million things to do and you've got no agenda, no focus, no target list, no nothing. If I said, okay, here's my Active 20. Here are the corporations, associations, groups, and the people inside those groups that I want to put myself in front of. When I wake up in the morning, I know where to publish. I know who to look for on LinkedIn. I know who to ask my champions and allies and speaker buddies for referrals and introductions to. I know where to publish my articles, both online and offline. I know what LinkedIn groups I need to check every single morning. I know what Facebook groups I need to go in and add value, add a comment. I know what online blogs and portals and communities I need to spend time on for a listening campaign and really figuring out what are they wrestling with when it comes to my topic, my expertise, and the problems that I solve. everything becomes easier. Literally, everything becomes easier when you have this target list, because it's a focusing tool, not just for your prospecting activity, it's a focusing tool for all of your activity. So I'm glad you asked that second question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Alicia, do you want to touch on this first question at all? There's some question here about, and I think it speaks to David's bookable topics. In what market? Do you want me to read that, or do we want to move on?
No, whatever you want.
So she talks here, David, she says, most people I think I offer my program to church groups, which is a fine idea, and I want to offer it to different groups. The program is called Find Your Brilliance, Planning Your Next Steps, and it's geared towards women who are in transition and want to help figuring out where to go next. Any ideas where else I can promote it besides churches? So I think this goes back to the being bookable, being that topic that's bookable. And clearly, I mean, the market and the direction that you're going is super key here. Do you want to just speak to that for a moment?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if you were talking to me or talking to Alicia.
Nope, I was passing it up to you.
We see this all the time. And, Teresa's kind of setting me up here for kind of a nice little softball pitch. It's like, okay, Newman, take it away. Here it comes. It's this thing again. This is what we call foreground, background confusion. And I want everybody to listen. I want Alicia to listen with 3 ears, 1, 2, and maybe there's a third one on the top of your head. Everyone else can listen with 2 ears. Foreground, background confusion means that the topic that you think you're selling, or the people that you think you're selling it to, that's not your topic, and that's not what you're selling. So it's called Market Your Brilliance, or what's it called again?
Find Your Brilliance.
Find Your Brilliance. Okay. So the group that can least afford it, least care about this. If I've lost my job, I'm a woman in transition. I need career coaching. I need career consulting. I need the shortest, fastest, quickest path to my next job or my next paycheck. I don't have time to find my brilliance. Now, who does? So the questions to ask are, okay, if it's not them, and I'm telling you right now, it's not them. Trust me, there's some free advice that'll save you 6 months of going broke. It's not them. Who suffers from this problem more deeply? Who's going to value finding their brilliance more highly? And who needs it more desperately? Who's already seeking the solution to that problem? So if you say, okay, let's transfer this from women in career transition, let's change this to executive leaders. And you know what? Actually, this totally reminds me, Teresa, of our friend Susan Robertson.
Yes.
Susan Robertson came into our speaker profit formula, and this is not some veiled sales pitch, just happens to be in the program, and she happens to be doing really well with it. She had this very squishy kind of creativity, innovation, leadership combination of things. Super smart woman. A PhD, I think. PhD, teaches at Harvard, all kinds of credentials. I'm not sure about the PhD part. She might not have a PhD. Someone else I'm working with has a PhD. But anyway, super smart, and it was going nowhere. It was literally pearls before swine. And we said, okay, let's go through this filter. Let's go through this kind of foreground, background confusion. Your topic is not really your topic. Your audience is not really your audience. Let's remove it from that setting, right? It's like, think about a jewel, right? Think about a diamond. So you put a diamond into this setting, and it looks kind of weird. It looks kind of funky. Take out the stone, and you put it into a different ring with a different setting, and oh my God, that's a fantastic piece of jewelry. So I'm not saying change the content of your program. I'm saying change the context of who you're selling it to and why they're buying it. And what we do in the program is we put it through a couple of filters. When you are solving this problem for people, do they get it? Do they need it? Do they want it? And is there a sense of urgency to solve the problem? In other words, depending on who you sell it to, it's either going to be a nice to have, and for women in career transition, it totally sounds like a nice to have. Set it over here, and it becomes a have to have. It's for executive leadership, it's for research and development teams, it's for sales teams, it's for all of these people that need to tap into every single ounce of mental bandwidth, every single ounce of creativity, every single ounce of innovation, resilience, can-do attitude, relentless focus on getting them to the results that they want. And they have money, they have need, and they have a desire. So need and desire are two things. What really makes me crazy is like, oh, everyone needs my program. Everyone needs better presentation skills. Everyone needs to have better communication skills. Everyone needs to be a better leader. No. There is a subset that is going to value it more highly, needs it more desperately, and is actually seeking it out today. So when you come across that kind of prospect, right, think about repositioning what you do directly in the crosshairs of where they're already spending money. And I look like a priest, right, doing the kind of, it's like, yes, my child, this is what you must do. This is what you must do. But it's literally at the intersection of where they're already spending money. So a lot of times, Alicia, this is a 5 or 10 or 15% shift. It is not a whole, oh my God, throw out everything that you're doing, trash it, start with a clean piece of paper. It's literally 1 or 2 steps to the left, 1 or 2 steps to the right, and then boom, you hit it and the floodgates open, and then you smack yourself on the head. The other person that reminds me, Teresa, is Mike Robertson, who's in the program now. And he says, man, again, this is a direct quote from Mike. I'm sorry, Mike Thompson. I'm confusing last names now. He says, I used to market like Elmer Fudd. Like, okay, I'm going to go catch me the next wabbit. I got to go find my next wabbit. And he wasn't doing it strategically. And he wasn't doing it right, taking it out of the context of who really needs it, who really wants it, who really values it. And when he made that shift, in Mike's case, he ended up on emergency response, police, and fire. And that's where he had all this great background. That's where he had the right names to drop and the right stories to tell. And his business is now just about to hockey stick like crazy because, again, he didn't revise his entire business from the ground up. 5, 10, 15% shift in what it is and what it means and who it's for. So write those 3 things down. Your topic, you as a speaker, you as a coach, you as a consultant, you as an expert, right? What is it that you do, right? Figure out what it is, figure out what it means to them, right? What it means is value, impact, result, outcome, emotional payoffs of solving those problems, right? And then why would they need it and want it and want it with a sense of urgency? And you solve that equation 1 plus equation 2 plus equation 3, and you have a marketable topic that is highly in demand and is going to be much easier to sell. In fact, in some cases, you might not be selling it at all. You're allowing them to buy, right? So it becomes a program that is bought and is sought out and really in demand. It's a program that is bought and does not need to be sold and pushed and strain and strive and, oh my God, buy my program. Please, please, please buy my program. But rather it's a trusted advisor sale where you're now qualifying them to become your next client. I think I just taught the whole program. Teresa, you know what? People no longer need to go to doitmarketing.com/apply. Just forget it. You got $1 million of value right there. So, we're done. Good night. Thanks for playing. See you guys later.
Thank you.
We have more questions, though.
Thank you, Alicia. All right. We have one from Heather Christie, and she has been chatting with me a bit. I think she wants to come on video.
Oh, fantastic.
We're ready for you, Miss Heather. Right. Are you ready for us? Just put a little note in the chat box.
So we are going to put Alicia back to participant. I think she was like going to put like a Band-Aid over her camera or something. So we don't like that.
Oh, you don't do that, David?
We don't do that. Although if you're naked, a different story. Different story.
You want to do?
Who is it again?
Well, you bring her on. I'll read
it coming on next?
Heather Christie.
Oh, Heather. I'm down on the S's here in the alphabetical list. All right, Heather Christie.
All right, I'm going to read her question while she's getting ready to come on.
Fantastic.
And so this is a bit about YouTube SEO. Hi, Heather. And she says, we worked over the last year to populate our YouTube page, but I know that we are not optimizing search purposes the way we should. We're interested in doing more work in South Florida with CEOs and executive teams when they come to Naples for executive retreats. We also get a lot of business from national, international trade associations. Would love more of their Florida business. Can you keep me off of an airplane, please?
Do what?
Off the airplane? Can you do that?
Can I push you off an airplane?
No, keep me off airplanes and help.
Keep you off airplanes.
Yeah.
Like, is this like a parachuting kind of thing? It's like, can you please push me out of an airplane? It's like, I don't really do that, but sure. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we just recently picked up a client. We were starting to focus more and more on how do we attract business to come down to Naples, because we know we're the only city in the country that has 2 Ritz-Carltons, and we attract a ton of CEOs and executive teams.
Okay.
How do we get the business of consulting with and doing strategic retreats, executive retreats, team building for those teams from a marketing perspective? We just picked up one, but we think it was kind of a fluke. And we thought, oh my gosh, we should really start marketing this, because we'd much rather drive down the street than get on an airplane. So that's the drill.
So you said that you mentioned SEO. How else are you proactively reaching out and proactively marketing this service?
We are not. This is a brand new thought for us. We have been, most of our work comes through a proactive referral program. But we are looking for the companies that are already traveling down here. And the current plan is to go meet with all of the meeting planners at the hotels and do that kind of local networking. But I think many of those organizations are searching for and finding their consultant or their executive coach prior to coming down, and not necessarily working through the hotel meeting planner.
So Heather, is your website heatherchristie.com?
Yes.
And that's where these retreats are sitting? Or no? Is there like a separate website for this business that you're talking about?
No, we haven't updated our website yet. I was looking for some advice on how we might specifically target that group, because we haven't targeted that group in the past outside of our referral system. So I don't think, you'll certainly see it on the website in different areas, I'm sure, but it hasn't been a proactive strategy of ours in the past.
Okay. And so you're presenting these, or do you have a training company, or is it like the Heather Show, or who's involved here?
We have other coaches and consultants who work with us, but primarily it would be me doing the work down here in Naples.
Okay. Man, I'm not sure. Oh, here we go.
And David, I sent you her link also in case you want to reference it. She provided that, and it's in the chat box for you.
That's the YouTube link?
Yep. In case you want to look at it. Got it.
Okay. Well, so I'm just confused. It sounds like, how do I market a program that we're not marketing? So the first question would be, and again, this is very, very common that people say, oh, wait, this just landed in my lap. This just came out of the blue. So I guess my first question from a strategic standpoint is, are you doing this because stuff is dropping in your lap out of the blue, or is this a proactive strategic decision to pivot and evolve your company into doing these on a more programmatic basis?
We work with CEOs and executive teams all the time right now, but we fly all over the country doing it. And what I'm suggesting is, I think there's a market to stay local and attract those who are already coming down here to Southwest Florida. And I'm just looking for some marketing strategies for, we've been doing CEO, board of directors, executive team strategic retreats for probably about 10 years now.
Okay. Well,
I'm specifically looking for, how do we attract those companies that are already sending their executive teams down here to Naples, and they don't otherwise have a local resource, and maybe they're flying someone else in from somewhere else. Or
I don't like that. That's like reverse engineering random spray and pray. So you're not doing random spray and pray, but hey, whoever walks in to this geographic area, they're my client. What I'd rather do is what Dan Sullivan does. So Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, you probably know. When you sign up with Dan, guess what? You're going to Toronto. you are going to Toronto, because Dan doesn't like to leave Toronto. So his program is virtual, come to Toronto. Virtual, around the globe, come to Toronto for the live events. So you simply have to evolve your business model so that you do things virtually, and when they want face-to-face, it's not, oh, Heather, come to our office. Oh, Heather, come to our leadership retreat. Oh, Heather, come to here and come to there. It's like, no, Bob, you come to Naples, because my training center, my retreat center, my facility is in Naples. So just like Dan is in Toronto, you're in Naples, and that's the conditions of doing business with you. So it's about having a very clear process, right? And because we always want to serve our clients. And it's like, oh my God, this big CEO wants some stuff, and so we have to, it's like, no, wait a second. There are conditions of doing business with you. One of the new conditions of doing business with you is you come to me. I don't come to you. I don't fly around. We don't go all over the place with the team. You come here, you're going to have a transformational experience, and then you go home, and then the rest is webinars and videos and virtual and phone support and one-on-one, and that could easily be a $30,000 or $40,000 a year program. In fact, my other program, not the Speaker Profit Formula, but my other program, which is called High Fee Mastery, which actually starts tomorrow, would be of good service to you if that were, I think it's a little bit too late now, but either way, building that high fee model where you call the shots, you have the parameters. There's a short run program, there's an annual program. They pay $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 for the short program. They might pay $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for the big program, the annual program with Heather and team, and you totally call the shots. So the nickname that Teresa and I have for this is Your House, Your Rules. Your house, your rules.
That's right.
You no longer just kind of bounce around the universe doing whatever for whomever in any location. I think that's a much stronger position than, ooh, who's coming to Philadelphia? Ooh, who's coming to Minneapolis? And ooh, who's coming to, to Naples? I don't care who's coming to Naples. I want my clients to start coming to me. So it's a mindset shift, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for the question, Heather. All right. We have Miss Julianne Sullivan, and I believe it appears she is still on, but she didn't answer that she wanted to come on camera. So like last time, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question, and you can then appear. There she is. She says, now I will. So while you bring her on, something I've recently run across twice. Organizations love my work. Executive director is letting committee orchestrate additional work, and it's a black hole. I eventually just say, call me, after several attempts to get them to move. And they have the money and supposedly want more, but I think many people just don't want to do the work. They want the quick fix too. I don't have it. Anything I'm missing? Julie.
So Julianne, now that you're here, boil that down to me in like a one-sentence question. I mean, that's good background, but kind of flesh it out in just a single question that we can get our teeth into.
And unmute.
Oh, yes. I got you. There you go. Try it again.
How do you get to a committee who's making a decision when you're working with the executive director? It's like how usually there's a gatekeeper to the CEO?
Sure.
This is the executive director is the gatekeeper to their committee. I can't get to the committee who's supposedly making the decision.
So let me throw, again, I could rant. I'm a really good ranter.
I know. And
there
I could rant and just say, maybe I need to forget them. So.
Well, no, or not quite so fast. I have a blog post that I'm going to put into the chat for your benefit and everyone else. It's called 21 Questions to Close Any Sale Faster, and it's specifically about what I call this remote control kind of selling. Remote control kind of selling is you're not selling to your prospect, you're selling to a committee or a stakeholder who's then going to present you on the inside, et cetera, et cetera. But you have to ask, and you have to relentlessly find out what it is that they like, what it is that they don't like, how these decisions typically get made. You need to become a deep dive investigator. I'm putting this in the chat right now. A deep dive investigator of how they've made buying decisions like this in the past. Because when they make a buying decision, so for example, let's say you and I we're going to role play this. So you're the meeting planner or the executive director or whomever, right? And I'm you.
Okay.
Don't mind the hair differential. It's fine. So Julianne, this sounds like this program is a fit, and I realize that obviously you're going to take this to the committee, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. They're talking about it right now. They were so thrilled. You've made such a difference already in our organization.
So where would you like me to send the invoice then?
What invoice?
Oh, well, you said that I've made such a fantastic difference. I kind of thought this was, no, I'm kidding. See, when you role play and you start horsing around, it's like, it's not that helpful. Okay, let's go back. You say, okay, so you're going to take the committee. Thank you for that kind compliment. Julianne, quick question. If it were just you and me, if there were no committee, if this were just you and me, would this be a go at this point? Play along, whatever comes to mind.
Absolutely, but
Fantastic.
I've got to let them make.
No, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. So based on what we talked about, what do you think they're gonna like about what we just discussed? What are some things, because they're gonna make a pro and a con. I'm sure you're looking at some other speakers as well. Let's just draw a line down a piece of paper. On the left, it says pro. On the right, it says con. When you put this in front of them, when you put me in front of them, when you put this program that we just laid out that you're so excited about, what's going to be in the pro column? What are some of the positives as you see it?
Well, of course, they already saw you when you came in and did the work that you did, and you got the feedback. It was phenomenal.
I'm taking notes like a crazy person now, right? So I'm going to jot all of this down. Let's assume you said 4 or 5 more things.
We love the interaction. We love this. We love that.
Awesome. What are they not going to like? Where are we going to hit some roadblocks, do you think?
I just think that they're putting their plan together, and I've got to let them, decide how they're going to do their plan and take things forward.
Okay. When they've had similar programs like the one that you and I just talked about in front of them, can you kind of walk me through and review with me what their typical buying process looks like? I mean, do they go to the website? Do we do a conference call? Just kind of share with me how it typically rolls out, or when you guys have done this in the past.
Oh, I don't think that there's any question that they think you would be valuable to their team. It's just that they haven't come up with their plan yet. And you know what? We have a conference now coming up, so probably nothing's going to get done till July.
Oh, fantastic. So the conference happens when?
In June.
In June. And so just so I know, I'm stepping out of the role play for a second. I'm looking to get hired for this thing in June?
No. I did a program for them in February.
Okay. So the strategy is help them build a reverse timeline.
Oh, okay.
Right? So if you say, well, so your event's coming up in November, now remind me, Julianne, when do you have to have your speakers selected for that? Oh, well, usually, oh, really? Well, so you're marketing this thing in November. I'm guessing that the marketing material, the website, the brochures, the postcards, the save the date, that all has to be ready by when? September.
I don't have a problem that when they have a date,
right?
But in this particular thing, they don't have a date.
Okay. So then, but if you look at that blog that I just linked you to, there are 21 questions that are in this investigative mode of finding out how do they buy, what do they like, what do they not like, what will they value, what's going to be a problem, what are the green lights, what are the red lights, and then I'm going to ask, so will you be presenting this to the committee? Are you going to be my champion and my salesperson?
I did that.
Okay? And then you say, what else do you need to see from me to help you build the case that you want to build when you walk in that room?
I think the case is already built. They're just kind of working on their plan.
No, but I mean, when you're going to come in and, I'm your product and you are going to go, quote unquote, sell me to the committee, Are there other tools, other resources? Like I've got all kinds of PDFs. I've got some links. I've got some videos I can share with you. You know,
No, because they've already seen you and they already love you, as you know from the feedback you got directly from them.
Okay.
And so I also sent them, you gave me you already wrote me how you think the work should go forward and some ideas.
Okay.
And I gave that to them.
I'm really good then, aren't I? Man, I sent all of that already?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. One thing I forgot to say is I really hate this situation, right? I really hate this remote control selling. There's ways to work with it. Those 21 questions will help you with it. But the very best way, which I know you've tried, and I know we always try this, is direct access to the ultimate decision maker.
Yep.
Direct access to the ultimate decision maker. At that point, it's not like, oh, they can't come in and be a dictator and say, we're hiring her. You got to respect the committee. If there's a committee, you got to respect the process. But you know what? You'll be on the short list. And not only will you be on the short list, if you have a great relationship with that executive director and you've sold them on the value, on the outcomes, on the fact that you're not only going to make your program successful, you're going to make their entire meeting successful.
Right.
Because again, everyone needs to listen to this. As speakers, we are not only content providers, we are huge marketing and sales machines. Even if you have 2,000 Twitter followers, that's 2,000 more than they have. If you've got 500 people on LinkedIn, that's 500 more than they have. If you have 575 people on your email list, that's 575 more than they have. So you say, I will do everything that I can to pre-market before and during and after the event so that we get more butts in seats. And the other thing that you have to do is you have to really understand, this is a nonprofit association?
It's a nonprofit. And you know, the more you talk, the more I realize that it's not a matter of if they like me.
Okay.
If I could show you the survey afterwards,
right.
It was like they were bowing down to me. Seriously, It was like the best ever. But there's just like this block. And so the more I'm talking to you, the more I realize some people, that wall's going to be so thick you can't get through it.
Sometimes yes. But the best thing you can do in a bad situation like that is to use those 21 questions that I just linked. Did you click on that link and bookmark it and save it off somewhere? Okay. And again, just for folks, I have to let Woofy the Wonder Dog out. I'm just going to put in, if you do want to have a little strategic chat with us, not Julianne, but anyone, about how we might help you and how we might operationalize some of these ideas in your business, it is doitmarketing.com/apply. And I'm putting that in there. Teresa's going to get the next question happening. I got to get Woofy the Wonder Dog. I will be right back. Continue talking amongst yourselves.
You got to bring Barry on before you go. Barry's next. You got to bring him on.
This dog's
got to go.
Dog has to go. Trust me. Unless Barry wants to buy me a new rug, in which case we'll talk.
So in case you're all wondering, I think he gave the link again. Go ahead and sign up for that. That's great. Barry, you're next. I'm going to go ahead and read your question, even though I said you were going to say it on camera. Hopefully when David gets back, I'll fill him in. But for the listening audience, we're talking about when I go live to niche my sales coaching insurance agents. Let me reread that. When I go live to niche sales coaching to insurance agents, I know they'll check me out online. This is Barry that we're bringing online.
We sure are.
I've been mostly referral based so far in terms of new client acquisition, but that's a one-to-one business model. Since I want to go group delivery and high fee, I know I'll be reaching strangers who will research me. Right now, I have no Facebook, no LinkedIn profile, no website. How should I prioritize building these things out? What are your thoughts on making sure the content on these platforms appears well integrated with the same look and messaging? And what's the overall feeling I'm trying to convey to my audience who may be checking me out or stumble upon me via referral, search, or advertising, since I want to attract the ideal fit clients and repel the rest?
I'm an expert at repelling. We can do a whole. Our next lightning round is going to be about 100 ways to repel clients. I'm good at this. I'm really good at this.
You're gonna start selling it in the spray bottles too?
Yeah. It's like mace, right? With like that. So, Teresa, could you just for as an academic exercise, could you count the actual number of questions in all of that long? Is like 17 questions about?
Just short of 10. Just
Okay.
short of 10.
Short of 10. Thank you for counting that up.
And Barry, unmute, babe.
So
We need to unmute him.
there it is. Fantastic. Are you on a boat? He's on a boat. He's on a freaking boat. This is Barry on the boat. See, the guy, I'm in my office. Teresa's in her office. The guy on the boat is asking us questions. Like, no, we can be, how are you on the boat? Like, this guy has like the lifestyle. He's on the yacht. He's on the boat. He doesn't have a care in the world. He's floating around there in Seattle.
And he froze on the boat.
Puget Sound. He's on Puget Sound. He's up there in Seattle. Beautiful. It's probably fantastic. What is it? 7:48 here in Philly. So it's like 4:48. Magic hour, right? Sunset on Puget Sound. I got questions for you, buddy. As a how do I get that lifestyle and get out of this office with like the barking dog and the craziness?
And he's frozen. He's probably not hearing a word. Because
that's fine. He'll get the recording. You know, when you live on a freaking boat or you have multiple boats and you're yachting and you're sailing, what can you do? What can you do? Here's what I would do. I mean, you put your finger on the problem, right? I'm invisible. I have no LinkedIn. I have no social. I have no website. I have no nothing. As a speaker, that's a problem. As a high-fee coach and consultant, it's almost not a problem. So it depends on, again, we're talking tonight here now about speaking. Barry just, I guess, imploded. I didn't cut him off.
He's coming back. He's back.
He's back. There you are. So you're on a boat, right?
Hey guys, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I dropped off.
Yes, we can totally hear you, and we're making fun of the fact that you're on a boat and Teresa and I are stuck in these offices and you're asking us for advice.
All right, so I'm going to paraphrase my long question because Teresa says it's long.
I got it. I mean, while
we got
we're
it.
gone, we kind of sussed it out. It's website, LinkedIn, social media. You're invisible. A, is that a problem? B, if I want to fix it, which ones do I fix first? Did I get it?
More about uniformity cross-platform. I've purposely stayed under the radar, and now that I want to be on the radar, I want to have a unified persona across platforms, not knowing how they'll check me out.
Right.
And when I look at LinkedIn, for example, and I compare that, like I've seen these conferences with all these LinkedIn experts. I've gone to every one of their pages. None of them are as good as yours, and I'm not sucking up because you know I don't do that. But you have one of the things you do so well is you have uniformity across everything: the marketing materials, the Facebook page, the LinkedIn, the email. Everything is uniform look, feel, voice, and especially because I'm unfamiliar with creating like a Facebook business page and especially a LinkedIn profile. I'm trying to understand my thought process about making that uniform with a one voice, and then how to be the most effective in putting all that together.
Okay, so thank you for the compliment. The LinkedIn gurus that I look to and that I steal from, so thank you for the nice compliment. One of our clients in the M3 program is Kate Payne, and Kate Payne is an awesome LinkedIn guru.
Amazing.
The other person I look at is Viveka Von Rosen, who has a great book out there called LinkedIn in an Hour a Day. And they all have some great resources on their website about how to do a profile. So basically, I looked at them and I just copy, paste, and took out their stuff and put in my stuff. And I said, hey, that's me. That works. So, but I think you put your finger on something really important, which is consistent marketing language. And Barry, you know this because you've been through all of our crazy programs. It's about that marketing language bank, right? And the whole purpose of the marketing language bank is that you collect and you work on and you fine tune every single piece of marketing language, every bullet, and you're a master of the bullets, every bullet, every soundbite, every value prop, every little aspect of your verbal business card. You collect all of those in this big master document. And then when you're looking at a new piece of content, website, bio, speaker introduction, about Barry page, LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, whatever, right? Everything comes, I think on Twitter, they give you 180. A tweet is 140 characters. I think your Twitter bio is 180 characters. So from 180 characters to a 300-page business book like that one right there, right? Everything is consistent. From 180 characters to 300 pages, everything that I teach and preach and talk about and market and sell is consistent because, and you can do this too, because that marketing language bank is consistent. I can give you a tweet, I can give you a paragraph, I can give you a page, I can give you 3 pages, I can give you a 10-page website, I can give you a 8-week course, I can give you a year-long mastermind, I can give you a 300-page business book. Really cheap way to sell a $14 book. But anyway, so work on that marketing language bank, really fine-tune the nuggets and the components. Once that is exactly the way that you like it and need it, I would then look at, okay, let's now start to do a little distribution exercise. What goes on my homepage? So when you said, I'll give you let's go to LinkedIn. That's why we're here, for heaven's sakes. Are you okay going to LinkedIn with me?
Sure.
All right. So let me.
I don't have one, so we're going to yours, I assume.
We're totally going to mine. We're totally going to mine. And oops, that's not right. Let me again. We'll see how well I'm going to blow this up, because I'm totally going to blow this up. All right. So LinkedIn. LinkedIn.com, and let's talk about what Barry is asking about.
So while you're looking that, for everyone who is submitting questions, we've kind of got them coming at all different places now. We've got a lot to get through.
Woohoo!
But if you're on the call, just stick with us. We're going to try to get to everybody tonight. Appreciate the questions. There's some really great ones in here, so just hang tight.
Fantastic. So, homepage, right? Can you guys see the homepage here at old doitmarketing.com?
Yeah.
So the positioning statement, the verbal business card, if you will, right? What I do in 10 words or less, marketing for speakers, authors, consultants, and experts. Boom. David Newman specializes in working with speakers, authors, consultants, blah, 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 blah. Is this you? Now, it's funny. This wasn't always this way, Barry, so I really appreciate the compliment. Until about 4 or 5 years ago, I was a total clusterfutz. And I will spell that for you if you want, but the word is clusterfutz. That I had different things, different messaging, identity problem across the website, didn't really say what I did. It was kind of small business marketing guy. I was hiding behind various facets and aspects of what I did. And then I realized, you know what, that's stupid. Let's make everything consistent. So now my website pretty much punches you in the face directly with what I do. Once I wrote this, and this isn't a lot, it's 1 paragraph and like 5 bullets, right? It says, you're in the right place. If you want to generate more leads, better prospects, bigger sales, goes right to the client testimonials. Fantastic. Let's look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn says, marketing expert. Oh, can you guys see my LinkedIn or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm never sure if it switches tabs or switches windows or what the hell's going on. But marketing expert, marketing speaker, marketing for smart people like you, which also notice is the tagline up at the top of the website. So consistent, consistent, consistent. By the way, marketing for smart people like you is in my marketing language bank. Strategy, implementation, results is in my marketing language bank. Up here, it says marketing for speakers, authors, and experts, right? Down here, it says marketing for speakers, authors, consultants, and experts, because I had more room. I had more room down here, so I threw in consultants. Now I come in here to LinkedIn, and let's look at the profile. Marketing speaker, marketing coach, right? Marketing keynote speaker, marketing and visibility programs for professionals who speak. And then I get more room here so I can expand. It doesn't have to be those short little telegraphic bullet fragments, right? I have a little bit more breathing room here to have a conversation with people on LinkedIn. But notice, how many of these problems do you identify with? We get beat up on price. We never know where our next qualified prospect is coming from. There's so many new ways to reach clients. It's an expanded version or a slightly different version of is this you, right? And so it just appears everywhere. The beauty of this is you do the work once, and then you redistribute, repackage, repurpose, and reuse that same marketing language everywhere. So and again, it's almost like the analogy of a bank account, that you make one deposit and you can make withdrawals all the time from that money, and it just keeps paying you back over and over and over and over again. Last quick question, then we have to move on, is which one would I work on first? I would probably work on LinkedIn first, because LinkedIn gives you a very limited amount of space for things like your professional summary and your current job position. That exercise of making it super concise is going to be super helpful, because then once that's polished and tight and clean and accurate, you can then lift that out of LinkedIn, drop it on your homepage, drop it on your services page, drop it on your About Barry page, drop it on your, who we serve and who we help kind of page. So I would start with LinkedIn, because that discipline of having it very tight and very concise will be helpful to you. And then I would just simply copy, paste, adapt, reuse, repurpose it, all the other places that needs to go. So let me get back out of here, because it's not supposed to be about me, but since Barry didn't have one, we had to use me, because I was the unwilling victim. The unwilling victim.
Thanks for playing, Barry. All right. The answer may not be short, but we've got a couple of short questions that have come through the Q&A. So let's get to some.
We'll try and make them short. Let's see how long we can keep people awake tonight.
All right. So Rita Bailey, if you're on the line, raise your hand or put a comment. We'll bring you on camera. If not, I'm just going to go ahead and read the question. You can listen to the replay. She says, what's the best way to launch a new speaker, and pricing strategies for different speaker levels? So Rita, are you on the line with us? I don't see you in the list.
Launch. I'm liking a catapult, either a catapult or a trampoline, I think is the best way to launch a speaker. Let me get, where'd my little window go? My little window disappeared on me here with, oh, there it is. So Rita. I like to call Rita the Rita Bailey. You guys know who Rita Bailey is?
I don't know who Rita Bailey is.
Oh my goodness.
Am I missing out?
You are. You really are.
Man.
So Rita, are you okay if we bring you on camera? Did she say yes, no, maybe? I can't.
I don't have a response from her, and I'm not seeing her in my list on this end. So.
All right. I don't want to bring anyone on, like shock them on camera, but let's go ask me the question again. Oh, she says yes. Okay, awesome. Rita Bailey. My new best friend. This was so cool.
And I get to meet her.
Rita and I had an awesome conversation. There she is!
Rita!
It's not just Rita Bailey, it's the Rita Bailey.
The. And we need to unmute Miss Bailey.
Yes. Oops, sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry. Now you're off mute.
Now I'm off mute. Okay. I said I'm a legend in my own mind.
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to meet the Rita Bailey.
Well,
now I know you.
Yes. This has been really great to be involved and listen in on some of the other questions.
Oh, good. Well, and just Teresa, go ahead and refresh me on Rita's two questions. One was about launching, and we can talk about that in a second. What was the other one?
The other one was fee levels, different speaker levels, for pricing.
Okay, fantastic. So this actually comes from industry. Let's start with fees. I love talking about fees. I can talk about fees all day long. Smart Meetings Magazine. Smart Meetings Magazine goes to people who hire people like us, conference producers, meeting planners, association executives, corporate executives in charge of meetings, a lot of sales managers, sales VPs, marketing VPs read Smart Meetings Magazine. April 2014 issue of Smart Meetings Magazine. Articles called The 5 Levels of Fee. The 5 Levels of Fee. And this is written by meeting planners for meeting planners in Smart Meetings Magazine. Here's what they say. 0 to 2,500, you're hiring an amateur. 2,500 to 5,000, you get what you pay for. Ouch! You get what you pay for. That hurts. 5,000 plus, right? 5,000 to 10,000. Now you're hiring a true professional, right? 10,000 plus, New York Times bestseller, minor celebrity, sports figure, someone that pitched for the Yankees 10 years ago, etc. And then $25,000 plus is like, real celebrity, TV star, movie star, political figure, former Secretary of State, whatever. Now, that's what they're saying among themselves. So when you have someone fantastic like Rita Bailey, and Rita Bailey, and again, I know you have this down and you have this mastered, but let's pretend that you're not this famous, amazing human being. You come on the scene because lack of experience, lack of expertise in this particular area, and you say, let me charge $3,500, $4,500 bucks. As soon as you say, okay, well, now I've taken 3 steps back, right? You should be a $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 speaker, but just because of lack of ignorance or bad advice, or people go, well, you're just starting out. And, Rita's not just starting out. People are wondering, I'm going to break the suspense. May I break the suspense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I knew Rita's name when we talked on the phone. So former chief people officer of Southwest Airlines. Did I get that right? Okay. So this woman knows corporate culture. This woman knows HR and training and employee engagement and how to build a culture of excellence with all hands on deck. Superstar, any ATD meeting on the planet, any SHRM, and it's funny because when we were talking, you said, oh, I'm going to ATD.
I'm there.
Well, you're there. You're there now. Fantastic. And it's like family. It's like a family reunion. Everyone knows her. Everyone loves her. And she has a fantastic book that came out a little while ago. And now you're up to something, uptosomething.com. We got to do the pitch. And she is just really a superstar that is helping senior executives do all kinds of fabulous, amazing things. So my point is, if your fee is too low and you're at Rita's level, you are going to undermine the perception of your expertise. So this is why it's so important, no matter what, $4,500, $5,500, $6,500, I think is the starting point for any serious professional speaker, because let's go back to that Smart Meetings research. The Smart Meetings research says 5,000 to 10,000 is the sweet spot. Now, I myself, just from research, from my involvement in the National Speakers Association, from my own speaking career, I have talked to dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of prospects and buyers. When they say no to me, and here's a strategy for everyone, when they say no to me, things get really interesting because I always keep them on the phone for an extra 5 or 10 minutes. So it's like, yeah, David, it looks like it's not a fit, or we don't have the budget, or not this time, and we love you and whatever. I say, Susan, so much appreciate our chance to connect. This was really great. May I keep you on the line for another 3 or 4 minutes? Because I'm very involved in the National Speakers Association, and I always like to have my finger on the pulse of the industry. Could I ask you just a couple of quick questions? And they're always honored, and they always, that can I ask for 3 or 4 more? We stay on for half an hour. And that's when they spill the beans. That's when they spill the beans. And so I say, well, typically, for this meeting and meetings like this meeting, what kind of speakers do you hire? Do you hire motivational people? Do you hire content people? And then they tell me. I said, do you go mostly direct to speakers like me, like we're having this conversation now, or do you use a lot of speakers bureaus? What's the sweet spot price range that you hire most of your speakers into? And the one emerging trend that I hear over and over and over again, we like to hire speakers in that $5,000 to $10,000 range. And I ask every single person I say, why is that? She goes, well, we tried to hire people on the cheap. We tried to hire, $2,000, $3,000 speakers. They're always a mess. It's always disappointing. It's never worth it. It's never worth it, right? Data point. Mm-hmm. Very important. Then, as you know, we've hired some of these celebrities and we've paid $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, and they come in, and that's always a disappointment too. We always feel that we overpaid. They're doing their standard dog and pony show. But I'll tell you, when we hire these folks in that $5,000 to $10,000 range, They customize, they personalize, they tailor. They're a pleasure to work with. They're a real professional. We always get the materials back from them. They're the first ones that return the headshot, the bio, the program blurb. They're a pleasure to work with. They're the ones that send the flowers and the candy and the gifts after the event. They're the ones that help us market the event and help us put butts in seats. Those guys are the real pros. We like working with folks in that $5,000 to $10,000 sweet spot. Now, if you've heard this 5, 10, 20 times, and I've heard it way more than that, you're like, what should most speakers charge that are professional, credible, really good, really smart, non-celebrity speakers? And again, Rita, I'm not just blowing smoke here. I think you're kind of borderline, probably on the high end of that. So maybe 10, 12, 15 might be more appropriate for you. And again, I'm not sure what you're charging or what you're getting, but hopefully it's 10, 12, 15, maybe even north of that. But the point is, everyone undercharges because we have this crazy imposter syndrome. And it's like, oh, I'm just starting out. Yeah, so you're just starting out after 30 years doing whatever you were doing. I'm just starting out after 15 years of teaching at Harvard. I'm just starting out after 10 years of running tech startups and venture capital funds. No one's just starting out. If you're like 12 years old, 18, 20, 24 years old, you're just starting out. None of my clients, none of our clients that Teresa and I work with are under age 40. Like none, zero clients under age 40, zero. So for someone who's 40 plus to go, I don't have any experience, I'm just starting out speaking, that's ridiculous. So here's your new fee for everyone, minimum fee. Some of you guys are double this or triple. It's $4,500 or $5,500. Notice I'm not saying 4,000, 5,000. The reason I'm not saying 4,000, 5,000 is because you never want to say the T word. You never want to say thousand. Thousand is a scary word. So you will sell more at 5,500 than you will at 5,000 because $5,000 sounds like a scary number, and 5,500 seems warm and friendly and cozy like a puppy. It's only 5,500. It's in the hundreds. It's only 5,500 to bring in Teresa, to bring in David, to bring in whoever. 7,500, 9,500, same psychology. Don't say I'm a $10,000 speaker. 9,500. Or 10,500. It's only 10,500. Oh, really? Yeah, 10,500. Don't say 10,500. It's 10,500. It's 12,500. It's 12.5. 12.5K. Once you're above 10, start using the letter K. Mm-hmm. It's 11.5K. Mm-hmm. K, what's that? It's 11,500. 11,500 is the number. It's way better than $11,000. Even though it's $500 more, you will sell more. Was there a second question, or am I just busy ranting off on some tree branch?
That's good, because I work with a client who's just starting out, and she wrote 2 books, but it's more about self-help. And she doesn't have a long corporate background or any of that. And so I was asking the question more for some of the clients I'm working with in terms of
4,500. You are now in the 4,500 club.
4,500. That's about what
I'm giving that advice. You are now giving that advice, and we're on the same page.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Say hi to all my ATD buddies. If you meet a guy down there's a guy in ATD named Gary Rifkin.
I know Gary Rifkin. Yeah.
You know Gary?
Uh-huh.
So Gary is a great guy. He just posted on Facebook, hey, I'm an ATD. You know, is anyone else down here? And what I wanted to say is my brand new friend, Rita Bailey, make sure to connect with Rita. So Rita, you make sure to connect with Gary.
You will definitely connect.
There you go.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Rita Bailey. All right.
Thanks so much.
So David Guthrow, and I do believe he is still on the line, and we will go to his question next. David, are you ready to come on camera? Just put a little in the chat box. Just put a little yes. And I'll read his question while we're waiting for that to happen.
I think David's always ready to come on camera.
You think so?
David's a rock star. Come on.
All right.
He's always
I have a special short list of clients who are tough to reach via social media, some of whom are C-suite types or board chairs. Any suggestions on how to reach without annoying them will be most appreciated. My website is relatively new, 4 months old, and ready for suggestions from masters like yourself. Wow. I have only one revenue stream, which involves being face-to-face and boards, senior management teams, etc.
Super. So David, you want to hop on camera here and chat with us while we answer this question? What are your thoughts?
Oh, do we have a yes? Don't see a yes yet.
Oh, David may have had to pop off. I think he just disappeared.
Oh, did he
Let me get the dog, because now, of course, the dog wants to come in.
Of course.
And, let's tee up the next person, and then we will.
All right.
I think we're coming to the end of our list, and then we can answer any other questions. And if people want to apply for a conversation on how we can help you more deeply,
right.
it's doitmarketing.com/apply. That's our commercial break for the moment.
And Daryl, looks like, let me check out their list here. So just in the chat box, are you getting value from this tonight, guys? Just put in the chat box, yes, you love it. No, you need more. Tell us how you're doing. Fantastic. Rick says yes. David says, I'm here. All right, we won't go away, David. We'll come back to your question. Absolutely, Ron says. Thank you for participating. No word of getting a recording. We are going to work on that, Linnell. If you're registered, you should be able to get a link. And yes, very helpful.
No recording for Linnell. She's
no recording for
Linnell. Doesn't get the record. Everyone else gets the recording. Linnell really can't be trusted with the recording. We've gone down this road before. She sells them on eBay.
Well, there's a business
$1,000 a pop, and it's let me sell it on eBay for $1,000, Linnell.
David says, "Take me, good value. Running out of wine though."
Nice.
So David is up, and he is talking about his new website, C-Suite, hard to reach. What do you got, David?
Yeah, is he? But he's not on with us now.
He's not on with the camera yet. Okay. We need to bring him on. Okay. But he is here on the
no, I don't see him. Oh, there he is. For God's sakes, there he is. He's hiding. Hey, oh my goodness, look at you. Holy smokes. I'll tell you, we got people in boats, we got people with bridges, we got cities, I need an upgrade. You know what I have?
I want one of those backgrounds.
I've got a caricature. Look, I've got a portrait of me. I've got like this computer chip, and I've got my book. That's all I got. Oh my goodness, Mr. Fancy. Look at this guy.
I gotta have the strawberries. That's epic.
All right, I'm coming on your live stream to find out how you're doing that. We're not going to have any real question here. We're just going to have different backgrounds. It's going to be great.
Oh, there we go. The executive look. Nice. It's good
All
on
right,
you.
Here's the CEO question. We're talking about CEOs. So here's the short answer. And Teresa, I'd love you to chime in here on this one as well, if you can get a word in edgewise with all my crazy ranting.
I got plenty of questions I'm fielding.
You got to fish where the fish are, my friend. So if they're not on social media, you don't need to be on social media.
Right.
The best way to reach people is, find out what channels they already read, recognize, and respect. So what are the magazines? What are the blogs? What are the portals and communities where they already gather online, offline, etc., and insert yourself and insert your content as your ambassador, so to speak, so that when they need, it's board facilitation that you do, correct?
Yeah, a lot of strategic planning, things like that. But there's unfortunately, it's kind of mixed because there's a number of CEOs who've decided to actually create a personality for their company online. So there's a few of them there, just on Facebook. Then I speak at conferences where most of the audience is these guys, but I don't have permission to, because of my role there, to go after them as clients. So it's and it tends to be a one-to-one sale. So,
well, I think there's a couple things that you could do. One is more proactive value-first outreach, and then another thing is interviewing the CEOs that you would want to recruit as your next prospects. Writing up those interviews, getting those published, and then using the interview as the launch pad for an entire relationship building campaign to add value to them. And it's the old strategy of acting as if you're hired before you're hired. And kind of like what we're doing here, right? Is like, show people you can help them by helping them. And so you say, hey, Bob, I'm really glad that we had a chance to talk about such and such. It sounds like your board challenges are really about X, Y, and Z. here's a couple ideas. Here's a paper that I wrote. Here's an article. Here's something I just found from McGill. Here's something I just found from Harvard Business Review. So all these touch points, right, along the way, you're always sending them a new idea. Every 7 to 10 days, the schedule on this is every 7 to 10 days, you're sending some kind of value item. An idea that you had, an article, a resource, a video, a link. By touch point 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, you will have earned the right to say, you know, Bob, we've been talking a lot of back and forth about this problem and that problem. I think there may be some ways I can actually come in and work with your board to solve these problems and not just talk about them. Would that be worth a short chat? And then it's like, well, David, I'd love to. Yes. Oh, my God. Yes. Let's talk about that. How can we bring you in? How can we use you? You've been so helpful and so generous. We totally need help in this area. And our board meeting is in 2 months. And what can you do? And now you're in.
So let's just dive in on the interview thing for just a second, David. So interviews that were transcribed or interviews on something like Zoom. I just find that people...
It would be either on phone or on Zoom because you want voice to voice. You want that rapport building opportunity. And then what I would also do is I would write up the article because it's kind of a double bang for the buck. You now have the relationship with that CEO or that C-level executive or that board chair, whoever it is. And then you get that article published in some relevant publications that all the other people just like them already read, recognize, and respect. You want to see an example of this?
Sure.
Say yes. Okay.
Yes.
Good. So let me take you out to my client Scott McClymon's website. And Scott works in the credit union industry. So let me pull this up and then I'll share my screen. Sit tight for one moment. All right. And this guy, he went bananas on this interview strategy and it sort of paid off in spades. So allow me to demonstrate what Scott has done. So we're looking at CEO velocity. You guys see this?
Yep.
Okay. So like I said, Scott is in the credit union industry. We go to resources, we go to articles, and this goes on for quite a while. That's not the right page, though. It's the media page. There we go. This goes on for quite a while. Scrolling. Let me show you. It's all of the articles that were published in Credit Union Business, Credit Union Management, Credit Union Today, Banking New England, American Banking Association, Credit Union Business. So any one of these, let's just fire one of these up. So Scott's company name is now CEO Velocity. Before he came to me, his company name was not CEO Velocity. We're not going to get into that, but his CEO Velocity. Here he is in the leading credit union publication, flagship publication of his industry. What's the column called? That's right. It's the CEO Velocity column. And it says, are you ignoring the most important metric of all? Blah, 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 blah. And then here he's got all kinds of cute charts and graphs and whatnot. And then here's a little bio box. Scott is a veteran leader in the financial services industry. There's his phone number. There's his email address. And so he writes articles. He has interviews. Let me show you a few more things because he actually has some cover stories in here. The amazing power of, okay. So again, this is Credit Union Business Magazine. The amazing power of exceptional leadership systems, Scott McClymon's, right? Cover blurb that he gets in here. And then again, it's the CEO Velocity column, a case for great leadership systems. This is not one of his interviews, but it's one of his other articles. And there's his picture now. And so he is all over this like white on rice. And they're even giving him ad space. They're giving him ad space right below the article. This was free. He didn't have to pay for this. And there's an opt-in. You can email Scott. You can request a white paper. You go to his website. Here is a testimonial of his. So he is all over this industry. All over this industry. All of this came from Scott implementing like a crazy person the interview strategy that I recommended to him. Let me see if I can just find one more of these. Banking New England. I want to find one of the interviews, because the interviews is really where the juice is here. Let me go back. He's got these on sort of 2 different pages. The interviews are important because they showcase the CEO as a genius. They showcase the CEO as the hero of the story, right? So you really don't want to make yourself the hero of the story. You want to make, those are other things. Of course, now I'm not finding it. Like, spontaneous moment in front of a lot of people. Be the boss. Is this gonna save me? Probably not. So, oh, by the way, here was his previous company name. Swear to God, Nehemiah Worldwide.
That didn't sell?
That didn't sell. And I said, dude, that's not gonna sell. And so we changed it to CEO Velocity. He thanks his lucky stars every day that he hired me. Anyway, so yeah, sorry I can't find it. But spend some time here. In fact, let me put this in the chat, because this is huge, huge, huge. And it goes on like for days. So let me pop this into the chat so you guys have it for later. Again, I would bookmark it. I would look at it. He has totally gone to town on this strategy. And you can see the results that he's getting. So he's getting, the short story is, he's getting speaking gigs. He's getting consulting gigs. He's getting main stage time at the credit union associations, both across the country, nationally, internationally. And he's now started a high-fee CEO roundtable exclusively for credit union CEOs, because he's interviewed about 40 of them all around the country, all from this one single strategy. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
That's great. Thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Sweet. All right. We have Mike Moore next.
Okay.
And Mike says, is there a list of questions you would ask that plant the seeds of doubt, aka kills the competition, in the mind of the sponsor or director? So Mike, are you ready to come on camera? You're still with us, I believe. And yes, you are. Are you ready to come on? Just put a little note in the chat. Let us know. Fantastic. He says yes. Go for it.
So let me.
He's got his pants on.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a minus, but whatever. So Mike. And Karen Buxman, do you have a question before you have to run off here? I hate to leave you in the lurch. She does?
She does.
Let's get her on after Mike, and then we'll see if we can swoop in just in time. So I think Mike is coming on here in a moment.
There he is.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, Mike, what's the question again?
The question is, let me scroll back up here. Is there a list of questions you would ask that plant the seeds of doubt, aka competition, in the mind of the sponsor director?
Yeah, no. But there's a document that you create. There's a document you create called 20 questions to ask before you hire your next blank. So 20 questions to ask before you hire your next marketing speaker, right? That's me. Yep. 20 questions to ask before you hire your next leadership speaker or consultant or mentor, whatever it is that you do. Now, when you have those 20 questions, what you're doing is you're setting the buying criteria. So it's the old, when you write the quiz, you get an A because you have all the answers. So you're checking all the boxes, right? When it's mine, for example, right? 20 questions to ask before you hire your next marketing speaker. Everything that you want to highlight, that you customize, you tailor, you do real world examples, you do hot seats right from the audience, right? Are they doing a canned speech or do they tailor? Are they giving the same stories that they gave before? Or are they pulling people out of the audience and doing live hot seats on stage? Are they easy to work with and highly responsive? Or are they a prima donna and make things harder than they need to be? When you do that, right, and then it's literally a checklist, right? This is like Consumer Reports. Right, you remember the old Consumer Reports where they check all the boxes are kind of those filled in circles, and some things are kind of half filled in and some things are empty. Well, you pre-print this, all your boxes are checked, and then you put speaker 2 and speaker 3, and you give them this empty spreadsheet where your column is filled in, and now you're setting the buying criteria. So even as they're talking to the next person, they go, they're like, well, this guy sent us this checklist, and gosh, I guess it's pretty good, and let's call the next speaker and say, hey, yeah, Tim, do you customize, or do you just customize title pages? Yeah. Now, do you have your set stories, or do you actually pull people up from the audience? And oh, you don't do that. Oh, And do you forget it, man? You just won the game. You just won the game, because if you write the test, you will always get an A. But so that's the document you need to go create. Is go create that 20 questions to ask before hiring your next blank kind of speaker. Gold, Jerry, yeah. Gold. There it is. Thanks for hopping on, Mike.
Yep. All
right. Should we get Karen on here? Karen,
yes,
is
sir.
Karen dressed? Is Karen dressed? Is Karen not dressed?
Karen is ready. She's asked me to summarize the question quick, so I'll just kind of summarize that, and then she can elaborate when she's on camera.
All right.
So, work is
very nice.
I love it.
There it is.
Work is evolving into a direction that I love, high performance humor. I love teaching high performers who are seeking a competitive edge on how to use humor strategically to influence others, whether it be leadership, sales, or health. I'm getting holds and nut bookings. I'm spinning plates. She needs help, David. She needs help.
Okay.
What else you got for us there?
What does Mr. Romance say? What does Mr. Romance say about all of this? Let's get you off mute here. Is Mr. Romance chiming in?
He's standing by, getting ready to wait on me.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yes.
So I think it's, and again, we can talk about this, and we should catch up anyway, for God's sakes. But anyway, I'm guessing, I'm going to throw a dart on the dartboard. It's probably wrong. But when you say, when any one of our clients or our friends says, I'm experimenting with, I'm heading in this new direction, it sounds to me like you've got 1 foot set in the old and maybe kind of 1 foot dipping a toe in the new. And that hesitation is causing 2 problems. One is a mindset problem for you, right? Maybe it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'm really awesome at this humor. I'm a Hall of Fame speaker, for God's sakes. She's a Hall of Fame speaker. I totally own this over here. Totally own this over here. Over here, well, gosh, I'm not a leadership speaker. I'm not a sales speaker. I'm not a sales trainer. I hope they don't think I'm a sales trainer. And there's some hesitation sometimes. And again, this is total woo-woo crazy stuff. And I'm not a big woo-woo guy. But it's the mindset when you're talking to people, when you're talking to clients, you're talking to prospects, even when you're talking to your bureaus, they can sense it like a dog can smell fear. Like, man, when Karen's talking about this stuff over here, it's rock solid, 1,000%, totally world class. Something's not quite right. Something's not quite right when she's talking about this high performance humor for leadership, high performance for sales. Let me stop there. Am I barking anywhere up the right tree, or is that total nonsense? And if that's not what's happening, you guarantee it?
I think with bureaus, that may be what's happening, because a lot of times they have me niched in kind of an old paradigm. And I'll call them and talk to them, or even meet with them, and they'll say, oh man, this sounds fantastic. You should send us this material. And I'll say, you've been sitting on it for 6 months, So, we keep trying to get them on board.
This material right here that's on my desk, this looks good.
That we've emailed to them, and all that, when they say send us, an update. So we update. So, I want to rely more heavily on myself. I'm doing the LinkedIn, social media. We're reskinning the website. It's starting to look really good. I love what you said about the marketing language bank, because that's something that we've been doing for a while and pulling from that. But I know that could be a little bit stronger. I feel, though, like I'm re-engineering myself in a lot of ways, because I know a lot of people have had me niched as kind of a funny nurse, when actually the work that brought me here was my research. And I got to share that last month on TEDx. I'm going back for the 4th time to MDRT. You know, I mean, I've got some really solid, just amazing material that I'm over the moon about. I'm doing an online program, and part of it is I'm spinning so many plates that it's kind of like, where's the best place to put the focus for the shortest return on investment?
So let me ask you this MDRT round 4, is that going to be your high performance humor for sales?
For leadership.
For leadership. Okay. So do you have, I mean, you're going to get video from that, correct?
Because I'm doing a workshop, a 90-minute session, they're not going to videotape.
Okay.
And that's been another issue. That's interesting you bring it up, because so much of my business now is coming from YouTube.
Yeah.
But, you know, by the time you get the footage and you get it up there, it's kind of like publishing a book. So many times it's on things that you were doing maybe a year or two before.
Right.
So trying to get the current video has been a little bit of an issue. We're working on that.
Okay.
But the TEDx footage I should have in a week or two.
Yeah. I think my only advice, and again, this is kind of very kind of quick, off the cuff, you know, spot consulting, is if this is the future of the KB empire, I think you need to be all in. You need to be all in. And just like you said, kind of the legacy business is coming, and that's great. The soundbite is target what you want, and you can always take what comes. Target what you want. It's like, hey, you know what? This is high performance humor for leadership, high performance humor for sales. And if other people find you repeat business, old clients, repeat clients, great. But every waking moment of proactive, outbound marketing, content development, relationship building, have the bureaus burn the old stuff and say, just replace that with what I sent you 6 months ago. Oh, did you lose it? I'll send you a fresh one. It's okay. It's all good. That's what I would do. So all in.
That's a great reminder. Something that I did, and it's like, have you ever done something and then you never did it again, even though it worked really well?
Yeah.
I think it was like 15 years ago. We sent to every bureau a trash can liner, and along with our new marketing materials, and just said,
trash the old stuff.
Please put the old stuff in in this trash can liner. So yeah, that's a good idea.
Time to do that again.
Yeah.
Time to do that again.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
Mr. Romance and I will be catching up with you soon.
We need to talk. That'd be great. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, Teresa, I think you're still on mute. Sorry. Hang on. There you go.
Sign language tonight.
Yes.
So related to that last, Doris Milton actually has a question about video. She says, I don't know if there are any questions related to video, but I'm interested in David's ideas about speaker demos. And maybe Doris would like to come on camera. And
well, we're going to shoot Doris's speaker demo right now.
There we go.
we're going to record this, and this will be your demo. It'll be like, who are the other two people that you travel with? It's very expensive. It's a $30,000 program to get all three of them. So
hello, Jeff.
Is that Jeff Salters?
That is Jeff Salters.
Oh my God. So Jeff, hang on. We're going to get to you, I think, after Doris. Where's Doris here in my list? I'm clicking on everybody. I'm clicking. Be careful. I might click on you. Put clothes on, people. Put clothes on. I don't know.
Doris is near the top.
I got her. I got her. All right.
There she is.
And let's get
Hi, Doris.
Thanks
for hanging with us.
And we are ready to chat. So what's the question about video?
It's about speaker demos.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I figured you would have. The past couple of times I've been asked, do I have a speaker demo video? And I have short video clips, but if I do a speaker demo, I was wanting any suggestions you have for what would be a good one versus a mediocre kind of one.
Okay, big topic. We're going to handle it. We handle big topics here on
it.
I know you do.
We do. Lightning round, baby. Lightning round.
That's it.
I guess, lightning is really fast, and my answers are so bloviated. We should probably call this rolling thunder. We should call this like it just keeps going. Heat lightning, rolling thunder. Lightning is like once and done. This is like just rolling thunder. Okay,
I call them Newman's Nuggets.
Yeah, well, these are like cakes. These aren't even nuggets. These are like pies, or I don't know what they are. So as I'm bloviating here, and if you guys want some help with any of what we talked about, or just help with your speaking-driven business, hop over to doitmarketing.com/apply. Teresa, go ahead and pop that link in just in case we haven't circulated that recently, and we'd love to help you implement some of these things. Speaker video. A lot of speakers, me included, and if you're not careful, we're going to go to YouTube. I'll show you my speaker video from 2003. A lot of speakers shoot video when they are in no way ready. They're not ready, and the video sucks. And so my philosophy and what we teach and train is that no video beats a bad video. So if you have bad video out there, you got to take it down ASAP. Second thing about video. A lot of people say, well, you know, I have video of me doing a workshop, or I have a video of me doing like grad students or like a nonprofit program. Even if the program is awesome and the sound is good, the lighting is good, you're wearing a good outfit, your speaking is good, meeting planners, conference producers, people who hire us, they have no imagination. So the setting in which they see you in the video is the setting in which they set you forever. So if you want to do big main stage keynote programs, the video better be big main stage keynote programs. If you do executive seminars and workshops, that video better be executive seminars and workshops. If you do small executive whiteboard sessions, strategic work sessions, that's your niche, that's your specialty. We better see you leading a strategic work session or whiteboard session. Because here's the deal. When I say they have no imagination, right, they see you in some like graduate school talking to 20 MBA students. They go, oh, well, she's really good at talking to 20 MBA students. For our global convention that has 8,000 delegates with the big iMac cameras and the lighting and the special effects and the big sound effects, not so much, right? Not so much. And it goes the other way. I mean, I've got keynote folks that say, I really want to get more into these small, facilitation, board retreats, small groups. Well, guess what? All their video is them with 2,000 people in the audience and the big eye. And so that's not serving them either. So let me just give the soundbite again for everyone. The context in which they see you is the context in which they stay permanently. The other thing is that it is very, very important to have good audio video quality, especially the audio. Because a lot of times the video, you pick up the ambient sound in the room, it's echoey, it's weird, it's tinny, and it just reeks of amateur hour. So when you have a professional videographer, and you should start collecting these videos as soon as possible, as much as possible, right? Professional grade video, 2 or 3 cameras shoot, professional audio directly into the camera. Don't rely on the mic. Don't rely on the soundboard in the hotel or the conference center. It's really important that that video is great. I remember specifically doing a video in, I was speaking at an event in Washington, D.C., and I asked the video guy 3 times, are we going straight into the camera? Oh, yeah, we're going straight into the camera. He shows me the rough cut, ambient room audio. I'm like, well, he saved me about 3 hours of having to edit those clips because I can't use any of it. I can't use any of it. And it was bad. I mean, it was just terrible. So that's my 3 cents on video. Anything else I didn't answer? Oh, no, one more thing. Hang on. I told you, man, rolling thunder. This is rolling thunder. I wish it were lightning, but it's rolling thunder.
Speaking of rolling thunder, it is thundering and lightning here. So if I lose power,
oh my God, we might lose T2.
Man,
T2 might be out of here. Be a student of speaker video. Go to Speaker Bureau websites. Go to other speakers' websites. Storyboard the videos that you like. With Post-it notes or index cards. So you're going to write down what's happening, right? Opening time, first 20 seconds. Is there music? Is there not music? Long shot of them speaking, close up, testimonial. What are they called? Not storyboards. What's it called when you have like a panel of text? There's a name for that. Panel of text, right? And so now, if you've done this with 10 really good speaker videos, and you've storyboarded them with index cards or Post-it notes, when you go to hire your video professional, you will be a much more educated
know what you're doing, yeah.
of what they can do, how you want it to look, and then show them the 2 or 3 clips that you really admire, the structure of, and the flow, and the music, and the rhythm. Don't necessarily watch the speaker. The speaker can be good, bad, or otherwise, but watch how the video presents that speaker in different contexts. What's the rhythm of it? How many testimonials? Where do they come? What's the first 30 seconds? What's the closing 30 seconds? What's the call to action? You know, to book David, email david@doitmarketing.com. Call this number, testimonial, testimonial, testimonial. Music comes up, bam.
Great. Thank you, David.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
All
Very
right.
good points.
Who else is
Thank you.
our next poor unsuspecting victim?
Our next unsuspecting victim is actually my own Rick Krug. Yes, he's mine. Rick and I go way back, and he has a question. He's here tonight.
All right.
Bring him on. His question is about hitting the tops of the waves on websites. I'm of the opinion websites are basically an e-business card. While they can certainly do harm if it misrepresents me, websites don't really promote well. What do you think?
Can we bring Rick on?
Yeah, let's bring him on.
Okay. Rick Krug. I guess he's in the champagne business then. Rick, are you in the champagne business? Is that your is that your thing that you're doing there?
It's a car.
No, I'm driving.
Oh, you're driving. Okay, well,
Yes.
I'm glad you're not in the champagne business and driving.
So, yeah.
That wouldn't mix.
Well, we can
Yeah,
hear
no,
you.
my father's name was Charles Krug, though, believe it or not.
Ah, that's funny. Of champagne fame, but probably a different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
So
Yeah, he died. The other guy died some years ago.
You're a website skeptic. Is that correct? That you're not big
No.
on-
I'm just I'm trying to figure out. You know, there's all kinds of hype about things, right? You know, the websites or business cards. You got to have this. You got to have that. You got to have this. You got to have that. You know, one of Teresa and I's mentors is John Maxwell. He has obviously a website. He gets almost zero business from his website.
Yeah.
And I have friends who are pretty successful speakers and coaches, and they almost all universally tell me, you know, my website basically just says to somebody, I'm not lying to you. I really am who I say I am. And it's a business card or a credibility builder, but it's not the place where they gain and lose. They can lose business, like I said on there. You could lose business because if there's something stupid or really misrepresentational on the website itself. But my question is, what's the truth about websites? How's that? There's my question.
Well, so you know, this lightning round live, I'm not sure if it's all that great about the truth, but you will totally get my opinion. How about that?
Sure.
Okay. It's like, what's the truth? I am here for give me the ultimate objective truth. I was like, I don't know. I'll tell you what I'll tell my clients. I'll tell you what we, tell our folks that we work with. I've never had this question about, is a website kind of a must-have, not have? Oh, one thing I wanted to tell Doris, because this might also reflect on what Rick is asking. The video, to Rick's point a second ago, the video is not what qualifies you in. The video is what qualifies you out. So if they like everything else, they will take a second look at your video and they will say, well, I want to make sure this person really doesn't suck. So a lot of people think, oh, the video has to be perfect. You know what? The video just has to make you the safest choice. Not the best choice, not the smartest, not the slickest, not the most incredible and amazing, but they don't want to get fired for hiring Rick or Teresa or David. So the video does not qualify you in, the video qualifies you out. Just a little side note about the video. I think you're right, Rick. I think that, because it's funny. Again, another survey, I think it was ASAE, American Society of Association Executives, did a survey, and the question that they asked these association executives who plan meetings is, how do you find out about speakers? So the number one way is referrals from someone that they've seen, someone that has seen the speaker. Someone in their office, another meeting planner, another association executive, one of their members, one of their board. So clearly it's nice to have a good referral network. Second way is referral from another speaker that meeting planner has hired. So if I say, hey, I just spoke for the Michigan Association of Chamber Professionals, you're not going to hire me back, but you really should look at my friend Teresa French because she's an awesome speaker. That meeting planner, because they hired me, they will listen to me. And then Rick's right. They go to Teresa's website. Is the website going to be fantastic and awesome and blow them away? No. It's Teresa's real. David's not lying to me. This woman does speak for a living, and here's her topics, here's her bio, here's what she's all about. Third way is, phone call, email, came across their information, whatever. What they have never said is, yeah, I went to Google and I just found some random speaker's website and I decided to give them 10 grand. That's not how it works, right? That's not how it works. So your website is not a primary marketing tool. That I will totally agree with. Your website, however, is a very important secondary marketing tool, meaning that once they get there, because think about this. I've had this happen. I know Teresa's had this happen, right? We're on the road. We're traveling. We're in some airport, and the phone rings, and it's, hi, it's, Judy Schmedlap from the American Payroll Association. And you're like, why do they always call when I'm traveling? Why does this always happen? And they say, yeah, David, we'd like to hire you. We'd like to talk about you for blah, 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 blah. I say, Judy, are you in front of a computer? Yes. Fantastic. Go to davidneumann.com. Okay. Click on this button. I want you to grab the one sheet, this, that, the 20 questions, the 5 ways to work with David to make your meeting successful. All of those resources are there. What else would you like to see from me before we talk next? Right? And again, this is part of the sales process that we teach and coach. Never leave a phone call without a next step on their calendar, not your calendar, but their calendar for them to call you back. So here's your definition of a pipeline. Sales pipeline is not how many people you're going to follow up with, how many people you're annoying and pestering and chasing. It's how many people have your name, Rick Krug, David Neumann, how many people have our name on their calendar for a follow-up call where they're going to call us. If the answer is 3, you got 3 people in your pipeline. If the answer is 20, you got 20 people in your pipeline. If the answer is 0, you got 0 people in your pipeline. So once they check you out, right, then it becomes, what else would you like to see from me to be considered? Well, the committee wants like a one sheet. We'd like some bullets. We'd like to have a look at, can you show us a clip where you talk about this, that, and the other thing? And this, again, goes back to video, that there's 3 kinds of video typically. There is the typical sizzle reel, 3 to 5 minutes. Some people say, I'd love to see the sizzle reel. That's what most of us have, is that 3 to 5 minute sizzle reel. Then we have a longer video, it might be 10 or 15 minutes, and the 10 or 15 minutes is complete stories, complete chunks of your program, warts and all, because everyone can do quick cuts, right? You can be a terrible speaker and have an awesome sizzle reel. Can you be good for 15 seconds at a time? Sure. If I keep the camera rolling, can you be good for 10 minutes or 15 minutes straight? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. And then the third kind of video is full-on presentation. If your keynote is 75 minutes, I want to see all 75 minutes. Now, here's the other secret with this. And again, these are on your website, so I'm kind of blurring the website question with the video question. Will they watch the whole 75 minutes straight through? Probably not. They will skip around, though. They will randomly sample. Well, let's look at this. And, oh, that looks interesting. I know he's wearing a different hat over here. And let's see what that story is about. And then if they really are interested, then they might go through and watch the whole thing. And they go, man, this is really great. We got to get this guy at our meeting. So anyway, I think the website is a very, very important secondary tool. And it needs to be consistent with your other marketing material. It needs to have a very clear audience-centric, buyer-centric value proposition, not a me, right? Speaker-centric value proposition. That's a mistake a lot of speakers make, because I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Speakers have egos. They really do.
No.
Yeah, I know. It kind of sucks. It's weird. No. And so that's what I would think about websites. So I think Rick brings up a great point. It used to be like in 1997. Here's what speakers thought in 1997. We'll put up a website. No other speaker has a website, and we'll get booked. We'll get bookings. And that was true for like 6 months, right? It's like, oh, there's Amazon.com. Well, I guess we'll all just buy books from Amazon. Why? Because they have a website. In 1995, they had a website. Ugh. Right? So website, that was kind of like special. Now website is table stakes. We all have website. Your website is not going to get you hired. Being awesome is going to get you hired. Good marketing is going to get you hired. Proactive outreach is going to get you hired. Having a strategy and a path and a plan is going to get you hired. But having a website, no. People don't hire speakers off of websites sight unseen. So what does that mean? Last point on this. If they don't hire a sight unseen, our main job now is to go get seen. Get seen. And that's how you get hired.
Got it.
Thanks, Rick.
All
right.
Thank
you.
Good to see you.
You too. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. So we've got.
Is he going to sleep in his car, by the way? Is he going to just hang out in the van and see what happens or what? I don't know.
Like the boat, the car, we've got everybody coming from all sorts of different places.
Yeah.
All right, so Daryl has been with us. Mr. Daryl, let's see if you are still with us now. And unfortunately, he has gone.
We're going to outlast everybody. We're going to outlast all of y'all. Let's like a stamina thing.
There we go. So Daryl says, for the purpose of recording, how do I connect with nonprofits for my new niche of relationships?
How do I connect with nonprofits?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you mean like trade and professional associations, not really nonprofits or charitable things. Nonprofits is a terrible niche. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to offend some people. I'm going to piss some people off. Again, I'm really good at repelling. We got to get like the David Newman spray can of, client repellent. Nonprofits is a broke-ass loser market. Education is a broke-ass loser market. And what I mean by that, and I've got clients in both, by the way, don't get me wrong. That's not my language, that's their language. They don't have budget. The approval process takes forever. There's like 17 sign-offs and 15 levels of bureaucracy in a nonprofit and in most educational K through 12 and even college. Just terrible places to be. So the best advice that we give people is get the hell out. Get the hell out of nonprofit, transfer that expertise to a market that is able to pay, get the hell out of education and transfer that to a market that's able to pay. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of capped at $3,500 for the rest of your life. And in nonprofit and in education, that's a really great fee. I mean, they think they're treating you like a king for $3,500. And so I'm pricing myself out of education. Right? When I speak, it's $8,500, $9,500. No school's ever going to look at me. And again, this is K through 12, right? Believe me, when they hired Colin Powell at Stanford, he's getting paid. He's getting paid. So, take all of this with a grain of salt. But as your main market, do you want schools? Probably not. Do you want nonprofits? Probably not. Do you want churches? Probably not. And again, this could be partly from your background, foreground confusion. If that's where you think that you're setting up camp, let's set up camp somewhere else and flip that topic where it's immediately relevant and in demand someplace else.
And monetizable.
Question. Let's ask the real question. The real question is, how do I connect with associations that would hire speakers like me? It's about research. It's about targeting. It's about Google. It's about LinkedIn. It's about leveraging strategic introductions and referrals and doing your homework and doing that competitive scan that we talked about the last time, which is like 2 hours ago. And
knowing your client, knowing the pain points.
Go ahead.
Knowing the client, knowing the pain points.
Yes.
Knowing where they hang out.
And having the right language that resonates with them immediately. Right.
That's right.
Because once you connect with them, because there are 3 phases to the whole sales campaign. Phase number 1 is your own articulation and distinction. So how do you talk about what you do so that your buyers want to buy it? The second thing, right, is messaging and packaging and figuring out, what are the relevant topics and titles and programs that you're going to have on your menu of investable opportunities. And then the third leg of the stool is outreach, how to effortlessly connect with the right buyers in the right way so that if you look at it as a fishing expedition, you're putting the right bait on the right hooks and you're putting it in the right lakes to catch the right kind of fish. There's no universal bait and there's no universal fish, right? You got to get specific. And where a lot of people screw themselves up is that they try and do this kind of general boil the ocean. Everyone needs my topic. Everyone needs my expertise. This is, anyone, anytime, anywhere, anything for any kind of check, for any size check. And that's a recipe for disaster. So you don't want to do that.
And there
Let's
you go.
Let's do one or two more. We're going to wrap this up here at the top of the hour. Teresa and I thought we would do 1 hour. We ended up doing 2 because it's so much damn fun. But if you do want kind of last licks and you're still here with us, and God bless you, you are, doitmarketing.com/apply is where to go if you'd like a little strategic chat on how we can help you implement, pull the nose up on the plane, and help you take off in your speaking-driven business with some real amazing results.
All right. Well, Miss Diane Morris has been so patient. She submitted her question right at the top, almost the top of the 6 o'clock hour.
How come we were ignoring her? What the heck? We're ignoring Diane this whole time?
No, not ignoring. We just had a lot before her.
All right. Does Diane want to come on? Does Diane want to come on then?
I haven't heard from her yet. Just pop a note in the text, Diane. In the note. So I'll read her question so we can get started on that while we wait for her response. Please help. My program is Brandtastic You. This is a 3-pillar personal branding that combines the mindset, body, health, and appearance. I'm challenged to settle down my ideal client. Oh, we've never heard that one before. And for my signature talk. Here it is. I help executives here it is. So here's what she's got so far. So she wants some actual help on what she's got crafted already.
Sure.
I help executives who are ready to take their careers to the next level via speaking engagements, book tours, and online video presence through stepping up their personal brand to attract the right clients, opportunities, and partnerships. Comments, please.
Sure. So, Diane. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Okay.
I'm here.
There you are. So, so that sounds like more of a coaching and consulting value proposition. Is that correct? That's what you do, is you help CEOs and business owners write and publish and build their platform?
Not really. So I'm glad.
Okay.
So I obviously did not communicate what I do. So thank you for that.
Is it speech coaching? Is it presentation skills coaching?
It's a 3-pillar program. And I help people stand out in the crowd and growing their next level of business through confidence, nutrition, health, and image. So I'm an image consultant.
Wow. Okay. So I got everything wrong. I got not
okay.
Some of it wrong. I got everything wrong. So again, Teresa, this reminds me of our client Kim, right?
Yep.
So and again, Kim, very, very successful, doing this for 17 years. Sort of multi value prop, really. And Kim's challenge that she is now overcoming with our help is, how do you synthesize this? How do you put all of this under one roof? So that it's not like, well, wait a second, is she a health coach? Is it about eating? No, wait, she's about mindset. Well, no, she's not mindset. She's more about, image. She's like an image consultant, nutritionist, right? And so you have this identity crisis. You've got a 3-legged stool, but a lot of people, they just say, well, here's leg 1, and then over here is leg 2, and then like someone's trying to like grasp onto leg 3, and that's on their head or something. It's like, I don't get it. I'm confused. I'm holding these 3 legs, and they don't realize that there's really an interconnected system here. So the first thing I'd recommend to you, hang on, visual aids are coming.
Okay.
Very important. Very important. $1 million visual aids. Here they come. I think we need to get her on a doitmarketing.com/apply.
I think so. I put the link in. Did you already get the link a moment ago, Diane?
I did, and I am in his other coaching program.
Which one is that?
Okay. Oh boy, I always mess up this one. Show me the marketing or show something. And maybe it's
I don't think that's me. I think that's maybe
No, I know it's you.
Is it me? All right. Well, we'll talk after. So here's your system. This is something like this. This is called the CEO napkin sketch. And I just did this on our speaker profit formula call on what's today? Wednesday. This was yesterday. And it was in my recycling, and I pulled it out of recycling. That's why it's kind of mangy. So it doesn't matter what it is. It could be grids, could be tic-tac-toe, could be 4 pizza slices, could be 3 overlapping circles. Here's the scenario. You're sitting in the first class lounge at the airport, and very nice looking woman is there reading the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, whatever, and strikes up a conversation with you and says, Diane, what is it that you do? And you say, well, Susan, thank you for asking. I work with CEOs and executives just like you and your leadership team on putting together a high-performance lifestyle and work style that's made up of these 4 pieces: image or appearance, health, wellness, nutrition, performance, and whatever the hell the 4th thing is. I'm making this up. And again, it could be right. It could be like 6 pistons in an engine. It could be, I work at the intersection of marketing and strategy and sales. And then the power of this kind of diagram is illustrate with them in a 30 or 45 second little spiel. You know, when the health piece is missing, a lot of my clients experience burnout, stress, and a lot of high pressure, and they have health problems and all kinds of bad things. When the image piece is missing, they're losing credibility, they're losing opportunities, they're losing the chance to get raised, praised, and promoted. When they're missing this 3rd piece, right, then the problems, heartaches, headaches, gaps. And when they're missing this bottom piece, here's what typically happens. Then you stop talking and you say, Susan, looking at you and your top team, which one of these do you think is the biggest challenge for them? And then you sit there like this. You make this face.
Okay.
And she says, oh my God, Diane, where have you been all my life? We need to bring you in. Do you have a business card? We're in trouble with all of these. In fact, I'm in trouble with all of these. I mean, look, I'm wearing the same dress now for 3 days in a row because I've had meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. I'm on this pitch tour with my company. My VP was just saying, you know what? We are getting, our entire top team is so stressed, their heads are about to pop off. We just had another meeting with our salespeople saying, you guys got to up your game because you show up at these meetings, you look like a slob, right? You're not dressed well. You're out of shape. You're pudgy. You're funny looking. You got mustard on your tie when you show up at a sales meeting. So they're just going to spill. They're just going to go. And again, it could be the triangles. It could be the circles. It could be a grid. It could be tic-tac-toe. I worked with a guy in Atlanta, a very, very smart guy, who had a company called X Factor Leadership. And you say, well, that's X Factor. That's like a TV show. It's kind of trite. That's kind of silly. Here's what he would do. It was like this, except it was different. He would draw a big circle, and he would draw a big X through it. This is his CEO airport lounge talk. Draw a circle, draw a big X through it. And then he had 4 pie slices. And he said, I work at the intersection of, and his was like servant leadership and team and communication and collaboration, something like that. He says, when the servant leadership piece is missing, it's every man for himself, the culture is toxic, people get kicked down to the bottom of the ladder, boom, boom, boom. When the collaboration piece is missing, then you get silos, turf wars, bickering, infighting, politics, and BS. He went through all 4 slices, every single person that he talked to. And he made a video on his website. He would talk to people on the phone. He would talk to people face to face. He would send emails. Everybody said, oh my God, we got to bring you in. Because when you start talking about the missing pieces, you label them, you label the gaps, you label the missing. Don't tell them how great your stuff is. Tell them your system and then pull it apart. It's like playing Jenga with those blocks. We pull out this block, here's what falls down. You pull out this block, then the next piece falls over. We pull this out, and then the whole thing is on the floor. Which one of those is the biggest problem in your company? It's over. It's over, Diane. They're paying you tens of thousands of dollars to come in and fix these kind of problems because you're now speaking prospect language about prospect problems and you are reading into their soul. You're not just reading their mind, you are reading their soul. And they go, oh my God, your program, you know, I was meant to meet you here today in the first class lounge. There is no way this is an accident. We got to talk. Open up your phone. And here's what you say now, from now on, by the way. When someone has this reaction, you say, you know what, Susan, you sound really busy. I'm, of course, really busy. Let's grab our phones right now. And in the next 24 to 48 hours, I know you're flying home now. You'll probably be kind of, you know, exhausted tomorrow. How about we get together on Friday at 10 a.m.? I have time Friday at 10 a.m. I have time Friday at 2. Which one works better for you? And you nail them down on your calendar before their enthusiasm runs cold. Because the half-life of their enthusiasm is measured in hours and days. It's not measured in weeks and months. So you nail them down. You've got the articulation, the distinction, the system, the program. Bam, mic drop. And we can help you build out all of that, of course. But that's the key. That's the nugget of it, is that's what you need to do. And then you're not doing like 4 programs that are all kind of disjointed. And, you know, now it's like, bam, that's what I do. That's who I help. That's who I serve. That's what I fix.
Okay. I'm lined
up.
up.
Like I said, they start to love you and they pay you many tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, now. I love it.
All right. Excellent. Teresa, are we going to call it a night here? Or are we going to wrap it?
No, we're so close to being 100%. We've got
all right, let's
3 more
going.
questions.
Let's keep going.
I think we can do this.
Going on. I got a Labrador Retriever who's just, you know, already put herself up to bed. You know, the dog has a bedtime. Literally, Woofy the Wonder Dog at like 9 o'clock, 8:45. You'll just hear her like go up the stairs. Like, yep, it's bedtime.
I'm out.
That's it. I'm out.
Woofy out.
Woofy out.
All right. And Hev Sang, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please forgive me if I'm not. But Hev says, I have one question. How to become and be considered a world-class expert fast? Fast is a very subjective word.
So there's 2 things going on with that question. I love that question, by the way. I love that question. Is Hev, do you want to come on camera or no?
I just invited him. Let's see if he answers.
Maybe yes, maybe no. Let me start answering, and then if Hev wants to hop on, then we'll flip on his camera. So there is truly becoming an expert, which you can do quickly, and then there's building the perception of your expertise, which you can do even more quickly. So I think we start with the outside, and then as we're doing that, we build on the inside. And there's a couple of good books about this, actually. I think Michael Soon Lee wrote a book called, I think it's How to Become an Expert at Anything in 30 Days or Less. I have to double check that or check on Amazon. But there are books about this. Basically what it is, it's deep immersion research. Just like we do prospect research, just like we do a listening campaign in our Speaker Profit Formula mentoring program, just like we do, studying, literally studying prospect language, looking at places like blogs, portals, communities, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. What are people talking about? What are people asking about? What are some of the urgent, pervasive, expensive problems in their words, not in our words, but in their words, that they are really looking to solve? And then just becoming a voracious reader, becoming a voracious assimilator. And I think there's 2 or 3 steps to developing this expertise. Step number 1 is certainly the research and the absorbing and the reading and the integrating into what your expertise is. The second step is I would start to engage in conversation. I would start to comment on blogs. I would start to ask questions in groups. I would start to stimulate some conversations. Part of wave 2 is I would also do the interview strategy. I would talk to as many people as I possibly could that are in that industry, in that topic, that are in the front lines of whatever that issue is. I would interview them. I would suck their brains dry. And then pretty soon after that, right away, because really we're all synthesizers. There's not an original thought under the sun. I worked with a guy that was a brilliant sales coach years and years ago. And he said, you know, my stuff is like everyone else's stuff. And I said, what do you mean? Like you ripped it off? He goes, no, I didn't rip it off. It's my stuff. But he says, listen, David, there's 4 good pages of sales training in the universe. And every other sales training program is a variation of those 4 pages. And there's 4 good pages on leadership in the universe. And every leadership program, every leadership author and expert and speaker is a variation on those 4 pages. There's 4 good pages on marketing. And said, David, I hate to tell you, there's 4 good pages of marketing that existed long before you came on the scene and long before you wrote this masterpiece right here. And your book is just a variation on those 4 pages. And at first I was pissed. I was like, no, that's not true. That's nonsense. Every single one of those is an original, fantastic, incredibly powerful, super duper idea. And then I thought about it. I said, well, no, not really. Because we all absorb, synthesize, combine, recombine, and then we're a filter for everything that we've studied, everything that we believe in, everything we've experienced, every situation, every bit of expertise has been filtered through our experience. So when you want to become a world-class expert in, let's say, 90 days, 60 days, you simply intentionally accelerate that process. You accelerate the absorption, the commenting and engagement and conversation part, and then your original thought leadership about I would start to publish, I would start to write, I would start to do videos, I would start to vet and test and encourage people, invite people to bounce ideas off you. I would do what I'm doing here with Teresa right now. Host a couple of these open calls. Man, you will get smart quick. I mean, we were smart coming in. This is not our first rodeo, but we were smart coming in. If I were going into something new, like yak herding, believe me, I would read like a maniac about yak herding. I would start to comment and converse and interview all the big yak herders. And I would pretty soon do a Facebook live stream or a Zoom webinar on, yak herding 101. And then, key questions in yak herding. And then 7 big traps that, yak herding mistakes that you need to avoid. And by teaching it and preaching it, you learn it and you internalize it and you get your own brand of thought leadership around it. And that's how you become an expert in a very short period of time. Basically, you do what we do organically and over whatever time period, and you accelerate it, you condense it, and you intentionally go through those same cycles and those same stages by putting yourself through that program on an accelerated schedule. So that's what I would do with that.
All right.
Are we out?
David, we got one more, and it is a duplicate, but it's a great question from our friend Mike Moore.
It better be, man. It better be. It better. I mean, I get up at 5 a.m. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you guys are keeping me up till 9:15 with these questions? Why do we ever do this, Teresa French? Why do we subject ourselves?
I'll tell you why, because we love to serve and bring value.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So that's why.
What can we do for Mike Moore?
Mike says, do you have materials on how to train a sponsor to go into a situation like a committee meeting that was discussed to sell your services to the rest of the group? So I think what he's really referring to is committee says, hey, give us your stuff. Who's going to sell you if you can't be there?
So scroll way back in the comments here, and it's the same article that we talked about with, I forget who, but it's 21 questions to ask to close any sale faster. In case it's not in front of you, let me remind you what that is or was, and we'll talk about this because this is, Where did I thought I had that window open. Yeah, here it is. Hang on. So let me I'll give Mike a little satisfaction here by reading some of these out loud. All right. If you were to decide this is a good idea, how do you go about buying things like this? How do you implement? What should I know about your timings? What should I know about your sign-offs? When do you budget for things like this? Do you think this deal is going to work? What's missing, or what should we add? Are you going to pitch it to the committee? What else do you need to see from me? Can I help you put together some numbers? Do you have some numbers that I could include? Who else besides you will be making this decision? Are they going to like it? What are they going to like? What are they going to push back on? What else is going to be in our way? How would you respond to that when they give you like an objection that they see coming? How would you respond to that? What answers do you need from me so that you're prepared to answer their questions? How much detail do you want? How much detail do you think they will want? Are there any surprises that we should be prepared for? And if this were just you and me, how excited would you be to move ahead on a scale of 0 to 10? Boom, done, mic drop. So that's the questions, Mike, that's in that link. If you want to search for it again, that article that I posted on my blog is called 21 Killer Sales Questions to Close Any Deal Faster. All right.
And look at there. Look at that.
Are we done? Are we clean slate? We wiped it clean?
We're clean slate.
Fantastic. So again, if they're watching the replay, and God bless you, man, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to run out of hard drive space here. But if you want to have a strategic chat about us helping you grow your speaking-driven business, one last time, it is www.doitmarketing.com/apply. So that'll get you on Teresa's calendar. That'll get you on my calendar. We don't bite. We're very nice human beings, and we would love to help you implement this so that you really pull the nose up on your speaking-driven business and stop doing the feast or famine kind of crazy bananas roller coaster and getting lost in the woods and wandering off the ranch. So no woods, no ranch, just money. Let's do that.
Money.
All right, T2. Last thing. Wait for it. It's here somewhere. Hang on. We got to have this. This will be like the final screenshot for the video. You know what's coming, right?
I do believe. Yes.
There it is.
Oh.
There it is. Right there. Little inside joke between T2 and me. It's the Rolex shirt, people.
And my T2 mug is in the other room.
That's all right. We're just here to have fun.
I'd have gone and gotten it.
We're here to have fun. All right, Teresa. Thank you, everyone. This was great. We'll do this again tomorrow. And the next
week.
Let's do it every day. Well, we should do this day, like 2 hours a night. Just like, boom. Let's just do it 2 hours a night.
Just
maybe next week.
Do you want
to hit this again next week?
I think 2:00 p.m. would be a great time to do this. Maybe do an afternoon instead of doing an evening kind of thing. What do you think?
Is that because I look pale and tired? Am I looking pasty? Is that?
You're looking good. You're looking good.
Fat? Are you calling me fat? Like
I would never.
I look pasty and chubby. That's my problem. I don't know.
You can't look chubby. You're on the program. You're not chubby.
I know. So afternoon, we will have natural sunlight streaming in, and I will look fantastic. You look fantastic all the time.
Well, I think
great orange lighting happening, and I've got this like weird. I have this like clip light thing, like this, and it ran out of battery, so that's why it's off in one hand. Now we're doing inside baseball. People don't care about this. You guys don't care about.
You know what? This is the B-roll. This is the aftertakes that everybody stays late the movie for.
We're like doing the outtakes, like in all the Disney animated cartoon movies where they have to create the outtakes to put in. That's what we're doing. We're actually creating outtakes.
That's right.
Feel that we're not perfect and we don't have this all dialed in.
At least we didn't have a tornado because it does look like it and we're under a watch.
Yes. So be really careful out there. Thank you for being awesome. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.